Hi everyone, welcome to Everyday, your daily stop for virtual reality content. My name is Dee, and today we are finally doing an official episode on Minecrift. Minecrift, which is Minecraft plus Rift, is a mod for Minecraft that adds unofficial support for the Oculus Rift Development Kit 2. If you're wondering if official support in Minecraft will be coming for the Oculus Rift, the short answer is maybe. Back when Facebook first acquired Oculus, Notch Pearson, who runs Mojang, the company that produces Minecraft, was like, no way, I don't like this, we're not going to do this. And since then, he's kind of mellowed out more recently, and he's like, if the dev team wants to do it, I'm cool with it. So we may very well see some kind of official support down the line, but hasn't quite happened yet. I hope we do, because this is an incredibly popular game. If you have been living under a rock for the last few years, you might not have heard of it. The basic gist is it is a game in which you the world is made out of these blocks. They're about 1 meter by 1 meter blocks. Every block is made out of a different kind of material, like grass or rock or water. And you can destroy most blocks and pick them up and carry them around with you and put them in other places and use them to build things. And it has these randomly generated procedural environments that you explore. It has multiplayer capabilities, so you can explore these environments with your friends. You can build things together, and it's a very exploration / building focused game. If you haven't tried it yet, you should definitely check it out at least once just to see what all the fuss is about. Minecrift is an unofficial project by a developer, as far as I know, by a single developer in the UK who goes by the handle of Stella Artois. I'm pretty sure that's not their real name, because Stella Artois is the name of a beer from Belgium. And it's been around since the DK1 days, and I played it quite a few times back then. In fact, there was a semi-official kind of Minecraft DK1 server that a bunch of people in the enthusiast community played on, called Minecrift. And they haven't quite upgraded to the DK2 version yet, so I'm not able to show you that today. But I'm going to focus today on showing you some single-player survival mode, showing you what a multiplayer server looks like inside the Rift, and just going through some of the options that it offers. Because one thing that Minecrift has always done really well, better than most demos really, is offering a plethora of options for exactly how the VR support is rendered and getting and how you interact with it and the controls and everything. So I'll show you all that in game. Without further ado, let's jump into Minecrift and explore the world of Minecraft in VR. Alright, here we are in Minecraft in VR at the main menu. So the main menu is fixed in space. It is in front of me here, and in fact you can see I already have full positional tracking. I can lean to the left. I can lean in towards the menu. The menu looks like it's about like a meter in front of me, something like that. And I have all my usual options, single, multiplayer. I can access all of my settings here from the main menu. If you have any problems setting settings in game, I recommend you return to the main menu and try to do it here, because things are a little bit more reliable doing it here. Also, if you have any trouble switching out of the application by using F11 or Alt-Tab, try coming to the main menu first and then try and switch out. I found that's a good workaround for a lot of crashing issues that the current release is having. This is a pre-release. If you look in the corner here, it actually says Minecrift 1710 Pre-2. So this is pre-release 2. It's not yet the official release of Minecrift. This is built from source by somebody on Reddit. I will link the Reddit post where you can grab this. But if you're sensitive to things like crashing, or you just want to wait till there's a better experience, then you might want to wait for the official release of Minecrift for DK2. So I have, in addition to positional tracking, which I already showed you, I have low persistence. That is working just fine. And I'm going to start up a single player game. This was a test world. I'm going to create a new world. I'm going to call my world Rift World, not Ruft World. That would be silly. And in case you want to play in my world too, I'm going to set a seed. It is going to be Everyday VR with a capital VR in the middle and at the end. And all this stuff I'm going to just leave set to default. And create new world. Let's go. So I'm in the void. And now I'm here. I am here. I am in Minecraft. Totally surrounded. So my tracking is very, very smooth. I can look all around me and it's just totally fluid. It's very snappy, very low latency. I can hit F3 to bring up my stats. I can see that I'm getting a solid 75 frames a second at pretty much all times. Hey piggy! Which is what I should be getting since that's the refresh rate of the DK2 and it's running vsynced. You can see it's loading chunks on the fly. Minecraft, I found, is a very demanding game, and I have a pretty top-notch system, but I still had to use some fancy recording settings in order to record the game while also not bringing the FPS down. It does not record very well with DxTory. I ended up recording it with OBS and MV encoding, which uses my GPU's hardware encoding. And I said the 30 frames a second. So there is no 60 frames a second version of this video, but I am seeing it at 75 frames a second. So it's smoother for me than it is for you. Hey piggy, what's up? Time is a-wasting right now, and this is my first day, so I have to worry about getting somewhere safe by nightfall. Fortunately, the seed puts me right next to a bunch of giant trees, which is where you want to start out in your Minecraft life. I once had a very unfortunate random spawn in single-player survival mode where I was like on an island in the middle of the ocean and there were no trees on the island at all. I was very unhappy about that. But this is a much better place to spawn. Come on. I'm just going to get quite a bit of wood here so I don't run out, because I am going to need to make charcoal as well. Okay. So right now, everything here is at default settings, and I am going to go over some of the settings in just a minute. But first I need to find a safe place to make my home. This hillside looks kind of nice. Let's go ahead and jump in here. Start digging our way in. Oh, it's stone. I can't do anything about stone. Okay. Well, if there's stone here, then I'm gonna have to make a pickaxe first so I can deal with that. Let's bring up our wood. Make a crafting table. And I'm going to stick it here. That is a big ass crafting table. Okay. And let's see, I need a pickaxe. So I'm going to need some sticks. And some of these. So I'm going to make sticks. And a pickaxe. There we go. So it's actually really cool with positional tracking. I can like, look down at my pickaxe and I can be like, huh, look all around it. That's interesting. Okay, let's get inside here. Gonna be safe surrounded by stone. Once I have some stone, I'll be able to make some better tools. So this all works out nicely. Stone is pretty resilient against creeper blast. I accidentally walked into the wall. So the way they do positional tracking in this mod by default, if you walk up to a wall, like say this dirt wall here, and I just lean in towards the wall until I hit it. Oops, let me walk a little closer. Lean in until I hit it. You can see I start to fade as I get close to the wall. Then I'm inside it. I'm inside the wall now and I can't see anything. It's totally black. Then I can pull back out. So that's how they decided to deal with the problem of positional tracking being able to move you inside of blocks and obstacles. They actually did a pretty good job of doing that only for opaque blocks, like this transparent block. I can just kind of stick my face in and it doesn't black me out, which is what you want. Alright. Do I have enough rock already? I think I do. Got a nice little space in here. I can move in. Come along, crafting table. The sense of scale is great. These blocks really look like they are 1 meter in size, which is their actual size. And let's see, what else do I need? I can make myself a stove now. I'm going to save the rest of this stone to make tools. There we go. And I should make a door so I can keep the monsters out at night. And then I'm going to need torches to keep them from spawning right outside my door. Then I should be in pretty good shape for now. Need a door. Alright, I have a door. And I need to burn some of this wood. Did I get that the wrong way around? I think I did. There we go. Okay, I don't want to burn all my wood. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, I'm gonna burn like 4 of them. That's my current plan. Let's make it 5. I'll make it 5. Okay. Then I'm gonna leave some of it for sticks. Okay, I'm going to use one of these dark planks. One more to burn the last 2 pieces of wood. And then I'm going to take the remaining piece of wood and use it. Wait, am I burning? Okay, I'm burning planks. I'm going to grab the last plank and put it together with... Okay, this is wood. Okay, I got my charcoal. Now I'm going to make more planks. And then I'm going to use the planks to make more sticks. And then I'm going to use the sticks, along with my newfound stone, to make better tools. Life is good so far. And I should make a box in case I get killed. For now I'm going to make an axe because I am running out of wood fast. Alright. So far so good. And I'm going to show you some settings while I do this. So a few of the settings I really like to change. So I'll show you some of the ones I already changed. First of all, I've turned off chromatic aberration correction. You're normally going to want to leave this on because so when I look at the corner of my vision, things have these rainbow fringes around them, red and green fringes. And I turn it off just so that you guys who are watching on the monitor don't see fringes around objects, because chromatic aberration correction introduces chromatic aberration in the image to counteract the chromatic aberration of the lenses. That's the way it works. So if I turned this on, I would see less rainbows and you would see more rainbows. So I'm leaving it off. A vignette doesn't appear to do anything right now in this mod. I think it's a to-be implemented feature. In the new SDK, they make this thing where they make the boundaries of the image fuzzy, and that makes it less obvious that there's a clearly defined edge when you're looking at it in the corners of your vision. But that doesn't appear to be implemented in Minecrift right now, so this doesn't do anything. Dynamic prediction is pretty cool. I'm not sure if it's working right now, but the way it works is it renders this little colored square in the corner of the view, and then the latency measuring device that's embedded inside DK2 looks at that colored square in the corner to figure out what your latency is and uses it to adjust in real time how it does prediction. So that can really improve prediction accuracy when it's working correctly. Again, I don't know if this is implemented in the current mod. Time warp you've seen before. Low persistence is just eliminating blur during head movement. Overdrive helps to compensate for true black smearing. True black smearing gets to be more of an issue when you're wandering around underground where there's a lot of really dark objects, or when you're looking at textures that have black color in them. And time warp just decreases perceived latency by updating the image to match your current position immediately before the image is rendered on the screen. So those are the basic render settings. Render scale, I can't show you this right now. I'll show you in the menu. Actually, let me go to the menu. I'll show you. Okay, so I sometimes these options crash the game if I do them in the game, but if I do it from the menu, I'm usually safe. So if I lower this, you can see that my menu is getting very pixely. And if you play at this setting, the whole game will look much more pixely, but you'll have a much higher performance because the render target resolution has been reduced by 2x in each direction. So if you're having trouble with frame rate, this is the thing you want to adjust. This will help a lot. It will decrease visual quality, of course, but in a game like this, you can kind of afford to decrease visual quality. It kind of, in a way, it kind of adds to the retro aesthetic. But I prefer to keep it at the default, which is about 1.1. I find that it doesn't help to make it much larger than 1.1, and the reasons for this are pretty technical, but it has to do with the fact that when it renders the image down to fit on the screen, it does it in a very simple way that doesn't really benefit from having lots of extra pixels in the render target. So you might as well leave this at 1.1. There's no point making it much larger than that. And that is, so like I said, vignette doesn't do anything. You can see it's not changing the edge of the view. Dynamic prediction, you can look at the corner and see if you see any colored square. I don't think that this is working right now either. And I'm going to get back into the game. Get back in there. Here I am, loading chunks. And I got my axe. And the other thing I was going to show you, there's a very, very useful hotkey in this mod, which is F1. F1 hides your HUD. And that can really help you to feel more immersed, because when your HUD is hidden, there's just nothing but you and the game world and whatever tool you are holding. The downside is when you hide the HUD, you can't really see what block you're aiming at. And so what I like to do is I go into my VR settings, my HUD/overlay settings, and I change the show block outline to always. Normally it's only shown when your HUD is shown, but if I set it to always, now the block outline will make a subtle black outline around whatever block I'm currently looking at, which is handy so that I know which block I am acting on, even when my HUD is not displayed. I don't know how the trees stay up when I'm cutting down their base, but they are magic trees. Oh, this is a pretty flower. Look at this flower. Can look all around it. It's very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and head back to my door before it gets too late. I should get some food. Don't want to get hungry. How hungry? I'm not hungry yet, but I'll probably get hungry later. Oops, I took a screenshot. Did not mean to do that. All right. So I'm going to need a sword. I have 2 cobblestone left, just enough. And I think I said I was going to make a box. Yeah, I wanted to make a box. I like to have a box around I can put all my stuff in case I decide to go killing things at night and they decide to kill me instead. So, I'm going to make my box. And there we go. This episode might run over a little bit. I have no idea how long I'm taking. I just really want to explore everything. Alright, get in there, planks and dirt, and my old pickaxe, and my charcoal, this wood, and a stick. Alright, I'm going to keep my tools on me. And now I need to start worrying about making torches. So, I'm going to grab some wood so I can make more sticks. And this should make us plenty of torches. There we go, 20 torches. I probably didn't have to make those all into torches, but I did. And let's go ahead and light this place up. And the outdoors as well. This should keep me pretty good and safe. And the final thing I really like to do is I like to make a tower above the place that I live so that I can see it from a distance. So I'm going to just gather some dirt here. So by default, it always selects the block that you are looking directly at. And I'm going to show you some of the other control modes where you don't have to be looking directly at a block to manipulate it. This is the default mode, and I think it's the easiest mode to work with. Oh shit, the spiders are out. The spiders are out. Okay, no need to panic yet. Hopefully I won't fall to my death. Okay, I'm gonna put a torch on top. There we go. Ooh, the stars are so pretty. Where's the moon? There's the moon. Coming up. Alright. I might die. We'll see how this goes. Ow! Okay, I just lost half my hearts. That's not so bad. Make sure I can see this from all directions. Ah! Good enough. Alright, let's get inside. It's so scary looking out and seeing those red eyes of those spiders in the distance. And they just glow so intently across the... Like, they're dark black. The contrast ratio is so high in the Rift that the bodies of the spiders just look like darkness. And their red eyes stand out so powerfully against them. Alright. Now I'm good and safe in my home for the night, and I can show you some more options. So, let's go back to our menu. VR settings. Player preferences. By default, it'll get all of your profile information from your profile, and that'll work just fine. It doesn't render your helmet if you're wearing one, unless you turn this on. It looks kind of weird having the helmet rendered in your field of view, so usually you want to leave that off. If you don't like being able to see your own body, you can just turn that off, and you're now invisible. I like being able to see my body. It gives me more of a feeling of where I am. You can, if you're in a multiplayer, you can set where the chat appears using these two options. And these other options are just very detailed biometric things, like how far out your eyes stick from your body and things like that. Head orientation tracking. So head tracking, you never want to turn this off. But if you do, here's what happens. Oh god. The world is stuck to my face. Make it stop. Okay, there we go. So when you turn off head tracking and the world is stuck to your face, it really feels pretty sickening. Half-Life 2 actually had a big problem and it still has this problem, where whenever it loads a new area, it turns off head tracking for a second, and it always surprises you because you don't know when it's going to load a new area. So you can suddenly feel very sick when that happens. Position tracking, you can see what it's like with it off. Now the world is moving with my head when I lean from side to side or in and out. And blank on collision, I showed you earlier how when you stick your head in something, it turns black. If you turn this off, it uses a different approach. Now if I stick my head in something, the wall pushes my head back. So my head just can't go inside the wall. Some people prefer this. I don't like it so much. The reason I don't like it is because when I do this and the wall pushes my head back, what it feels like to me is that my head is like pushing the world. Like I'm looking down here and my head is like headbutting the world away from me, which is just weird. It's really weird. And when I lean sideways and like push my head like that, it's just really disconcerting. I don't like it. I feel like my head should not have the power to push the world around. So I am going to turn that back to what it was set to before. Blank on collision. And just to remind you, blank on collision is I walk up to the wall, I push my head in, and my head's now inside the wall, and it's totally black inside here, which is what you would expect when you stick your head inside a block of stone. So that makes sense. All right, VR settings. So that was head position tracking settings. I'm going to talk about the HUD settings a little bit. So the HUD is the thing floating in front of us, and you can do lots of cool things with it. If you want to be able to see through your HUD, you can make it transparent. So you have a little bit more, that makes it a little bit less obtrusive. So you can see through it, see the things behind it without it getting in the way quite so badly. Another way to keep it out of the way that I like a lot is vertical offset. If you increase vertical offset, you can actually put the HUD down below you. So like round about here. Here's a good place. Maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, that's good. So now if I'm just walking around, the HUD is just barely in my peripheral vision. And it's not blocking where I'm looking like it was before. But if I need to see it, I can just look down a little bit. I'm like, oh, there's my HUD. Get away, spiders. Get away. Yeah, so my HUD's right down there. I can look down whenever I need to see it. And I think this is pretty convenient. I like this way of doing it. You can also put it above you the same way. I will show you what that looks like. Let's see. Vertical, so -20, -29. There we go. Yeah, so this is similar. It'll appear above. Actually, I want to put it a little bit higher for that. So it'll appear above me. And whether I put it above me or below me, it usually helps to make it a little bit larger. Since it's now a little bit farther away from my head. So now it's just floating up a little bit above my field of view. If I need to see it, I just look up at it. This is a lot like what Zelda VR Beta did, where they had your hearts and stuff at the top of the screen, and to see them, you would look up and they would come down and you would be able to see them clearly. All right, I'm going to reset that for now. Back to 0. And make the HUD, reset the defaults. You can make the HUD as big as this, which is pretty big. If you have trouble reading the text, this is a good thing to do. If you want to make it smaller so it doesn't cover as much of the scene, you can do this. Make it pretty small. I think the default size is very reasonable. The crosshair size, likewise, you can adjust. You can't really preview that here in the menu, but if you put it at maximum, this is how big it is. That's a big crosshair, which can help if you have trouble seeing the crosshair, like if you have bad eyesight. But I could see the default crosshair very clearly on my display at 1080p resolution. In general, the resolution of this display just helps a lot with Minecraft. You have the pixel aesthetic is much clearer than it was on DK1, and just the colors are way more vivid and rich in this than they were on DK1. It's a whole different experience. If you've tried Minecrift on DK1, you need to try it on DK2. What was I gonna do? Gonna reset that. And the smallest crosshair size is this tiny little crosshair. So if you can spot, I can see this little crosshair pretty clearly. And it's not quite as obtrusive, but it's a matter of personal taste, how big you want it to be. All right, back to default. The crosshair by default will not will roll with your head. So if I turn my head like this, the crosshair stays at the same angle as my head, which looks weird to you guys, but from my perspective, it looks like the crosshair is just kind of staying the same orientation as my head. Whereas if I set it to with HUD, then it always stays the same orientation as the HUD, and it never rotates with my head when I roll my head. So it just stays like that. And I think both those settings are fine. I don't care that much about that. HUD occlusion is an interesting one. So by default, if I walk up to this wall, and I walk up super close to the wall, what's happening now is this HUD is like a meter away from me, but this wall is only like half a meter away from me. And so, but the HUD is still being rendered, I can still see it. And I'm getting this weird kind of stereoscopic conflict with stereoscopy occlusion conflict, where the HUD appears to be on top, but appears to be farther away. So that can be disconcerting to some people, and the way you deal with that is to turn on HUD occlusion. And when you turn on HUD occlusion, it hides itself inside an object when you get too close to an object. And then you never have that stereoscopic occlusion conflict, but you can also get your HUD just being hidden from you at inopportune moments. So I don't particularly recommend this setting. It does make an interesting point, though, of kind of the way you kind of have to deal with certain unrealistic things in order to have a good experience. The HUD distance just sets how far away it is. So this is as close as, it's too close. Can't even focus on it when it's this close. But when it's this close, I can still focus on it. It's too big, but I can make it smaller. So I could, if I wanted, I could have this little HUD right up against my face, and I can still focus on it. It's much, much closer, and it's much smaller, but the angular size is about the same. So I can still read it. And this makes it less likely that, again, that I'll have those stereoscopic conflicts because I have to get much closer to an object before it goes inside the object. I don't like to have it this close to my face because it's annoying to have to constantly focus super close and then super far away and then do that over and over again. Is that a creeper? I see you out there. I love being able to look through my door like this. This is so cool. Positional tracking. Just using it. I could even stick my head through the door if I want. Right through the hole in the door, or right through the not holy parts in the door. Whatever you want to do. Oh, I'm safe here. The creeper's not coming after me. Not coming to my door. I should be fine. Let's see. I'm gonna reset my HUD. That's a more comfortable distance. Or you can make your HUD super far away if you want, and super big. So it only gets up to this size, so this is probably as far away as you want it to ever be. And still have it be a reasonable size. And if you like your HUD if you like to look at your HUD with relaxed eyes, or you're traveling out in the overworld and you want to be far away, then this is a pretty good setting to use, I think. Let me bring up that menu again. So yeah, you can see it's out there past the door now. It's pretty comfortable at that distance when you're walking around outside. Other settings. The HUD horizontal offset. I don't recommend messing with this one because it already messes with the horizontal offset of the HUD to some extent when you just turn, depending on which way you're, how you calibrate the Rift. But some people might want to have the HUD kind of off to one side. So if you like to do, some people like to do like a 45, 50 degrees so that they can be walking along and they can look to the side and check. Like, so I could be like walking along like this, and I could look to the side and get my tool. And you might find that easier than looking up or down. So that's always an option. And I mentioned earlier that if I show block outline to always, then even when the HUD is hidden, it will still show the block outline. So I'm going to hide my HUD. And I can still see what block I'm aiming at. And likewise, if I set show crosshair to always, then even when my HUD is hidden, which it currently is, I can still see my crosshair, which helps me to see what block I am aiming at. So if you like to wander around with your HUD off for purposes of greater immersion, you might want to turn one of those two things on so that you can still see what block you're aiming at. Okay, reset all these guys. And as long as we're stuck in here for the night. So I'll talk about the view modes in a minute. Right now I actually need to start on a mine. I really want to show you what it's like when I get down inside a really dark area. Incidentally, while I'm digging this, do I have my torches? Yes, I do. Get over there, torch. I was considering doing. Ooh, I just found iron, guys. I am lucky. Oh my god, it's right here, right next to my little tiny hovel. How lucky is that? So lucky. I'm gonna get all the iron. I'm gonna make an iron pickaxe. Life is going to be great. I'm even getting coal. I wasn't even looking for coal. Oh my god. This is wonderful. This is perfect. This is a big coal vein too. Getting quite a bit of it here. Alright. I'm gonna recreate my staircase, then I can start to make my way up. Alright. I do want this iron here. There we go. Looks like the sun is rising. Real soon now. I really want to check out the sunrise. Gonna go out there. Gotta climb up here super fast before one of these enemies gets me. Check out the sunrise. It's so pretty, the sunrises in this game. Especially in VR. What is following me? Is that... Oh god, there's like 3 spiders after me. God, I can hear them right behind me. This is... Oh shit, there's 2 more in front of me. I'm not comfortable with this. Guys, I just wanted to watch the sunrise. It's okay, it's almost daytime. Come with me, pig. Ah! Ow! Oh shit. If I had not taken that jump earlier, my health would be in better shape. Okay, I think the spiders just de-aggroed. Yeah, I think they're okay now. Oh shit, there's a creeper. Okay, back inside we go. Yeah, you better stay out there. You're not coming in my house. This isn't your house. You stay the fuck away. Thank you. Alright. I was about to burn that iron ore. There we go. I think that should be enough coal to do that. I'll put the rest of the coal in here. So what I wanted to show you down here... Oh, what I was mentioning is that I was thinking about doing multiplayer with other people with Rift DK2 sometime. I was figuring I could get them to all record their point of view. I could put them like in a split screen or something. And we could combine all of our voices. We could talk over Skype while we do it. Could be a fun thing to do. Let me know what you think of it. Okay, what I wanted to show you is when I get super far down here, it starts to get really dark. And the cool thing is that I used to talk about how it would be so cool in the Rift DK2 when you get into really dark places and your eyes start to dilate because the contrast ratio is so good. So I'm going to take this torch out. I'm just going to head on down here. I'm heading down into the darkness. Gonna turn off my HUD. So you can see up this staircase. Up there is my little hovel. And it's hard for you guys to see what's going on, but as I stand here in darkness, I'm starting to be able to see. My pupils are dilating, and I can start to see this stone right around me. I can see the texture of the stone, but it looks so dark. I feel like I'm like in a room at night, and I can just barely see my surroundings with my night vision. It's very, very faint. And I think this is so cool that this is possible now in Minecraft and in DK2 to be able to be in an environment that's literally as dark as night and have to use your night vision in order to see. This is not something that has ever been true in games before, as far as I know, that you actually have to use your night vision in the game to see what you're doing, because it's actually that dark. And if I put a torch down, so first of all, if I look up there, it's actually cool because the light shines down from there and I can see it lighting up the steps at the top, but the light just doesn't get anywhere close to here. Like it hits like the first 5 steps and then it's gone. And so down here, I'm actually not sure how I'm able to see anything down here. I think there's just kind of ambient light that's always happening all the time. Also, I see a lot more of the... So I have my bright lights on so that you guys can see me and see me on the camera. And a lot more of that bright light leaks into my Rift when I'm down here in the dark than I normally notice while I'm in a bright place. But if I were playing in the dark, I think this effect would be even more convincing. I can see my own body and everything. I can see my little torch in my hand. This is so cool. Okay, time to light this place up. Ah! Ow, that's bright. That literally hurt my eyes. Ow. Do not stare directly at the torch, guys. Did I just use my last torch? Whatever. Oh, that's right. I put the rest back in the chest. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and it's daytime outside. And to walk out... To walk out in the sun after being down there in that dark tunnel... It's really like I was like in a dark room and I just walked outside and it's not, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Stay away from me. Anyway, it's not quite as bright as literally walking outside because the sun is quite a lot brighter than even the brightest setting on the Rift, but it still is a lot brighter than it was down there, and it's kind of amazing to actually have your eyes hurt and have your pupils have to constrict as you go from one environment to another. I wanted to look at some more of these settings. The move aim control. So to show you that, I really want to get outside, but I'm going to have to kill that. Alright. I ain't afraid of you. I have stereoscopic vision. I can see exactly how far away you are. There we go. Taking care of it. All right. So let me go up there and get a good view. Is that a zombie? How's a zombie alive? Whatever. Zombie? I hear a zombie. Whatever. Okay. Where is it? Maybe it's stuck somewhere? Anyway. So I have my tower. That'll help me get back home. So I can wander about a little bit. The way water works, I believe, is I just go below the surface and then I look up and it just looks like it's a transparent layer or a translucent blue layer. Yeah. Oh, so I have the underwater effect going on and I'm running out of air. And I think if I push myself up, I moved myself out of camera range there. So that didn't quite... I was running out of air. Okay, gotta be more careful. So I think... Can I put my head down under the water? I can't push it down far enough. I'm pretty sure you can push your head up above and under the water, but I don't think it actually like helps you if you're running out of air. I don't think you can get more air using positional tracking. All right. I promised I was going to show you some of these, some of these aim controls. So currently, whatever I look at, that is the block that I'm operating on. But if I turn on the keyhole, then I have a little bit more flexibility. So let's set these to 50 and 60, something like that. Yeah, that's fine. So now I can move my mouse in the center of my field of view. And this is much like Half-Life 2, if you played that in the Rift. I have the ability to move my mouse freely in this region. And so I could be like, I want that block, and that block, and that block, and that block. And I don't have to look at every individual block as I get it. Which is convenient. If you're, especially when you're in a tight space and you don't want to like move your head crazily all over the place to get every little block. I don't like how the vertical works because the vertical gets stuck at the top and bottom of its range. And even if you look up, it can't get beyond those limits. So I think that's a little bit broken, but hopefully they will fix that. So I'm going to set this back to fully coupled. So now my head controls the pitch of the cursor, but I can still move my cursor left and right in front of me without having to move my head necessarily. So this is a reasonable compromise, I think. So that's one option. I'm going to set this back to fully coupled. Another thing that's here is the decouple look move option. And a lot of people like this a lot. It's sometimes called tank mode. It's very individual though. It's kind of funny. They say recommended value on, but the default value is off. And I think that's because for people who aren't used to the Rift, the default mode is where you move whichever way you look. So I'm just hitting W and I am wandering all over the place because I'm moving my head left and right. I just always walk the way that my head is pointed. That's the default mode. And I think newbies have an easier time with this mode because they don't have to keep track of separate orientation of their body and head. And I tend to like it as well. I just find it kind of easier to keep track of. But the alternative mode, which is tank mode, which we just turned on here, is you always move with W in the direction of your HUD. So your HUD is there. And if I turn my HUD here, then I move this way. But I can look left and right while I'm moving towards my HUD. And so I could be walking along a path and just looking all around, looking down, looking left, looking right, looking up. And it doesn't disturb my direction of motion. Is that a giant mushroom over there? Yeah, I think it is. Huh. Well, I spawned in an interesting place. So you need to get used to having to use the mouse to turn where your HUD is if you want to go in a different direction. So if I want to go towards that pig, I have to turn my mouse to put my HUD right under the pig, and then I can walk towards the pig. But this gives you some flexibility. Like if you're in a battle, you can be like, I'm going to run towards that guy, and while I'm watching my back, and then look towards him again, and then slash him. And so if you get used to it, I think it has a lot of power. But it's definitely more challenging to use. I need food. I'm gonna die. You need to die. You need to suffer. For me. Alright. I'm gonna need 2 of them, actually. My current level of hunger. Die, pig. Oh, come on. Killed it for nothing. These red roses are pretty. The reds are so vivid inside the Rift. They are like blood red, like ruby red. They're super red. Running. Alright. I got meat to cook. Ooh, I got iron ingots. That's a good deal. Got some coal. And it's time to make dinner. Okay, while that's cooking... Uh-oh, sunset already. I believe I've shown you all the VR settings now. There are quite a lot of other settings here that come from the Optifine module, the video settings. These enable you to fine-tune your experience of the world and exactly how fancy you want the graphics to be, exactly what kind of render distance you want. Render distance has a huge effect on frame rate. So if you're having trouble with your FPS, turn render distance down. That's another thing that you can do in addition to turning down the render scale. Those will both have a big effect on your FPS. And with that, I've gone through pretty much all the settings that I wanted to. Now it's just time to grab some dinner. We're going to grab some dinner, and I think I'm running out of time, but next time I will definitely play some more. I'll maybe do some multiplayer. I'll maybe explore some dungeons. And let me know what you want to see me do here in Minecrift, because I am up for anything. I want to answer your questions. I want to explore the world. I want to do all kinds of stuff here. This is full Minecraft, and anything you can do in Minecraft, you could. You know what? You know what I forgot to do, guys? I forgot to show you multiplayer. Okay, I'm gonna eat, then I'm gonna go visit a multiplayer server. Nom 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 nom. Okay, get my stuff in the chest. And let's go out to my main menu. Drop in a multiplayer game. Okay, I need the name of a multiplayer server. pvphere.com. That's easy to remember. All right. All right, let's join up. Ah, what the fuck? Whoa, I was inside a dude. Are these fireworks? Holy shit, look at this place. Wow. 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 This place is amazing in the Oculus Rift DK2. Oh, I can't chat. I can't chat here. I am just a newbie who is not allowed to chat. That's fine. Kit pup. I'm gonna turn off my HUD. This place is enormous. And they built all this fancy shit? This is really cool. Taking a little bath. There are players over there. They're just wandering around. Hey. Alright. Ignore me then. That's fine. This person's doing fireworks. These people look like they are exactly the same height as me. They look like Minecraft people, but they are definitely person-sized. About the size I would expect them to be. There is a, like I mentioned earlier, I think, there is a Minecraft server for Rift users called Minecrift, where they actually set up a corresponding mumble chat server with positional audio, so they could talk to each other inside the game using voice, and actually hear the direction those voices were coming from, which was a very early example of VR social inside the Rift. And they could collaborate on projects while talking to each other. I think that kind of thing is going to be really exciting for VR and for Minecraft and in the Rift in particular. And yeah, so this is all that I'm going to show you today. But I will delve into more complex multiplayer experiences in the future. I will build some more stuff than just a cheap little hovel inside single player mode, and there's all kinds of things I want to do. Let me know what you want to see, and let me know if there's anybody you would want to see me play with. That's all for today. I will see you guys next time, and everybody have a great every day.